Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and you know Andy's here with me.
Oh, Michael, I'm here in this nice little toasty wooden box you got here going now.
We like to have a cozy, calm winter recording. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's better than burning up in the summer. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Sooner or later, we're going to have like a little hot cocoa in here when we can start recording, right?
Yeah. If we ever record in the morning.
Right, yes.
But no, today we got a suggestion from a patron, a creep of the crop patron, to be exact. David S. has brought me this rabbit hole. I've actually looked into the pizza bomber before. I am familiar with this case, but it was fun to do another deep dive, and I can't believe we haven't covered it.
No, not yet. Which
honestly,
was
I can't believe. Yeah, I mean, Lauren and I even didn't cover it. This one flew under the radar for a while.
Yeah. Pretty much
really,
so.
I mean, for us.
At least.
No, it's a huge case. It's insane. If you guys haven't heard it, you're in for a treat. But first, I got to remind you can catch these episodes early and ad-free on Patreon. That's patreon.com/truecrimeguys. That's the best way to support the show, and we appreciate you guys very much. But as I said, today we are talking about the pizza bomber. This happened in Erie, Pennsylvania at PNC Bank. A 46-year-old pizza delivery man, Brian Wells, had delivered pizzas for 30 years, and the last 10 of those years was at Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. And he was only late to work once, actually. It was the death of his cat.
Oh, I mean, justified.
Yeah. Right.
I do love the name Mamma Mia's Pizzeria.
Right.
I mean, that just rolls off the tongue.
It does.
I can hear the jingles for the commercials already. They write themselves.
Right. It's just too perfect. But Brian is walking into PNC Bank with an odd-looking cane and something bulging under his white T-shirt around his neck. He seems pretty relaxed. As he approaches the teller, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a folded piece of paper, and he slides it across the counter. The teller's eyes grow wide as she reads it. It's a demand for $250,000. Today, that'd be $400,000, and that was only in 2003. That's really not that far. Isn't that sad?
Damn inflation.
Yeah, for real. The note warned that the bomb would detonate in 15 minutes and demanded the full amount be delivered within that time. The teller explains that she can't give that much money, but I can give you whatever cash is available here, which ended up being a little over $8,000.
So settling for less.
Yeah. So Brian turns to leave, but he doesn't make a mad dash for the door. Instead, he pauses, and as he walks by the counter with some lollipops on it, he grabs one, opens it up, pops it into his mouth.
Fucking Ocean's 11 move right
there.
Yeah. Brad Pitt, fuck off.
Then he walks out of the bank, and the teller triggers the silent alarm, which calls 911. Within minutes, police are on the scene. Officers surround Brian, and this is on Scott Drive, next to an eyeglass world. This was only 600 feet from the bank. He didn't make it very far.
Not mad dashing anywhere.
No, he is not.
Fucking walked out there, was enjoying that lollipop.
It's part of the mystery. It really is.
And just... Oh, look, sirens.
Oh, look at that. But police come out with their weapons drawn, expecting, a standoff, a shootout, something. But as they approach, Brian informs him that he has been forced into the situation by 3 black men who strapped a bomb to his neck. The officers handcuff Brian, but they quickly back off when they see that he actually is wearing something around his neck that looks like a bomb.
Yeah.
This is a very strange device to them.
Fucking looks like something like a saw trap.
Lots of metal, lots of wires. Yes, like a saw trap. The officers maintain a safe distance as they try to assess the situation. As the tension mounts, Brian's composure kind of starts to crack a little bit, and it seems like the gravity of the situation is really sinking in. And there's a steady beeping coming from the device around his neck. Brian realized what it meant. He said, "Please, you have to get this off me. It's going to explode." And you can hear this all on video on YouTube. It's clear as day. The officers immediately started calling for the bomb squad. In the distance, you can hear them approaching. But before they arrived, the unthinkable happened, and the collar went off, killing Brian instantly and leaving every witness there in a state of horror. This was no longer a bank robbery gone wrong. This was something entirely different.
Yeah, this was now a murder mystery.
Was immediately international news.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely insane. And like Andy alluded to, it was like something out of Saw. When did Saw come out? Especially Saw 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Saw
Saw 2 literally used this tactic, did they not?
The
They had the
explosive
collars.
collar.
Yes.
I do believe it was. No, I think it was Saw
Was it?
3 had the explosive collars, but they had the shotgun shells in the collars.
Okay.
Yeah, because Saw 2, I believe, was the ones they were all in the house.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yep. But they had something.
They had the poison in their
implemented.
system.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Nerd dive.
Yeah. Right. Haven't seen them in a minute. But it does seem like something from those movies, and I bet they came out around that time.
Oh, yeah. Early 2000s. That's when Saw starts getting popular.
Mm-hmm. All right, Andy. Well, let's roll that intro and get into how Brian got into the situation in the first place.
Right you are, Michael.
I start hearing a beat. His eyes just got real wide.
Something like this had never happened before in the history of the FBI.
The man told police that he was forced to rob the bank.
The FBI believe that whoever built the collar is patient and secretive.
This made worldwide news.
The purpose of the pizza bomber plot? Money.
How could this happen? Who's the mastermind?
Please, what's your emergency?
There's a woman that you might want to question.
He's the one that did it. Are these co-conspirators?
There was a lot of tips coming in, but no smoking gun.
We didn't have DNA, fingerprints.
The bomb had wires that didn't mean anything to prevent the bomb squad from tampering with it.
Did you make the bomb?
No.
Liar.
It's a bank robbery, but it's a scavenger hunt. Guy has a cane gun, and it was actually loaded.
Who put this in motion?
I did nothing.
Who actually said, hey, let's rob a bank?
She laughed about it. She said, I got away with it.
Was Wells a victim or participant?
It became a diabolical game to them.
All right, so let's go back to the morning of August 28th. Brian Wells arrived at Mamma Mia's Pizzeria for what he thought would be just another normal day. However, at 1:30, a very unusual call came in. Brian's boss, the owner of the pizzeria, Tony, of course his name is Tony. He took the call, but he said he couldn't understand the caller, so he handed the phone to Brian. The order seemed normal: 2 pizzas delivered to 8631 Peach Street. The delivery address was near the WETV transmitter towers. When Brian arrived, he was alone in a clearing. Just him and the transmitter towers at first. At least, that's all we know. What happened next, no one really knows for sure, but investigators later were able to piece together a pretty chilling scenario. Tire tracks and footprints told a story of multiple vehicles and multiple people. In the days following the bank robbery, detectives combed the area and they stumbled upon a series of cryptic notes in Brian's car. These notes outlined a macabre scavenger hunt. It was as if someone had designed an elaborate game with Brian as an unwitting player.
God, we alluded to Saw, but
Very much like Saw.
This predates Saw, but this really is like a fucking Saw trap.
Yeah. The pizza delivery was bait in an elaborate trap. The order was placed using a payphone, the delivery address, an abandoned TV station. Someone had clearly lured Brian to that spot, knowing that he would be vulnerable and alone. The day after the event, a local reporter tried to get to the TV towers, but the dirt road leading to the plot was roped off. However, he spotted a man in front of some of the neighboring houses near the TV towers. The reporter went over and asked him, who introduced himself as Bill Rothstein, if he would allow him access to the land so he could get closer to the transmission towers. Bill said he had no idea what was going on, but he would walk the reporter down there. But going through Bill's land, the bushes were so thick they couldn't really get close enough to see anything, and the reporter really left with nothing that day. The investigators, meanwhile, were struggling to make heads or tails of anything. For one, the black men that Brian had mentioned were nowhere to be found. Shocker. Questions multiplied with each new piece of evidence. It's just always when it's so vague.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
all we get is 3 black men.
Yeah.
That's the description.
So
it's like,
vague,
oh,
man.
great. That's all we have to go off of.
3 weeks after Brian's death on September 20th, the Pennsylvania State Police receive a phone call that would just bust the investigation wide open. Although not right away, but this did set everything in motion. The caller is Bill Rothstein.
Oh, nosy neighbor Bill.
Yes, the man who lives next to the TV towers. He made a startling confession. He said that he was storing a dead body in his freezer for his ex-fiancée, Marjorie Armstrong.
That's fucking wild. Hey, can you hold? Can you watch my corpse while I'm gone? I'm out of town for a little while. Can you just keep it on ice for me, okay?
Yeah, so Bill was naturally taken into custody, and he testified that Marjorie had shot and killed her boyfriend, James Roden, with a 12-gauge shotgun. She then called Bill and offered him $78,000 to store the body in his freezer. It ended up taking 4 days for James's body to thaw, and the autopsy confirmed Bill's claims. And James's cause of death was a 12-gauge shotgun.
I mean, that's a hell of that's just a hell of a relationship right there. Just calls me up. It's like, hey, take care of this body right quick.
Yeah.
That's some mob boss level shit right there. Who are we dealing with in this town now?
There's a history here. So Bill mentioned that he was conflicted about storing the body, especially since Marjorie's plan to dispose of the body was to use a meat grinder or an ice crusher.
Okay.
Right.
Fucking gnarly.
Yeah, like he was so conflicted that he said that he had considered suicide, but he decided on finally just coming clean. And to back Bill's testimony, the investigators found a farewell note in his house. It explained that he was not involved in the murder, where to find the body, and how sorry he was. But most interestingly, Andy, the note started with, "This has nothing to do with the Wells case." It just starts it with that.
Okay.
No P.S.
No hello.
No.
No, today is.
No dear concerned reader.
Yeah. No dear diary.
No,
dear
just
Abby.
right off the bat, this has nothing to do with the Wells case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Red herring, be damned.
Mm-hmm. Now, during interviews, Rothstein did not give investigators much about the pizza heist at all. He said he only mentioned it just to not cause confusion.
Okay, I'm just trying to help you guys out. I don't want, I know it's all everyone's thinking about right now.
I know this might come as a shock, Bill, but you did the opposite.
Right.
But Bill did speak a lot about Marjorie Dale Armstrong and the Roden case. James Roden, the body in his freezer. His confession led to the arrest of Armstrong the next day, September 21st, 2003. Marjorie initially claimed to be innocent and said that Bill had shot and killed James. She eventually pled guilty but mentally ill in January of 2005 and was sentenced to 7 to 20 years in state prison. Bill was charged for lesser crimes in the Roden case, but never did any time. We'll get to that later.
No, I wouldn't see him doing any time really for that. That's just, he was aiding a crime, but then he came in clean and got her arrested.
Right.
He probably getting some probation.
Right,
getting some house arrest maybe.
Now, Marjorie was first held in Erie County Prison and transferred to Mayview State Hospital for psychiatric evaluation in March 2004. A year later, she was transferred to the State Correctional Institution in Muni. Marjorie, however, wasn't happy in state prison. Can you imagine that, Andy?
Aw.
didn't
happy
like her
in
stay.
prison.
No, so she decided to offer the state police a deal. Marjorie would tell everything she knew about the Wells case on the condition that she would be transferred to a minimum security prison closer to Erie.
Okay.
So now they're getting somewhere.
Just tell us what you know.
Exactly. But let's talk about Marjorie first. Okay? Let's let you know what you're dealing with here. Marjorie Dale Armstrong, Dale was her maiden name, was a woman of contradictions, graduating 12th in her class with a bachelor's degree in sociology and a master's in education. She was a musical prodigy as well. She taught piano, organ, and cello. Her best friend, who had known her for decades, described her as magnetic and charismatic, but also high-strung and sad.
Okay, pretty neurodivergent maybe.
Right. Her intelligence was matched by her ability to manipulate those around her, particularly men, including James. 3 of her partners had met untimely deaths under suspicious circumstances. 3
of your... Okay, fucking 2's a lot. 3.
So other than James, the guy in the freezer, we got 1984. Marjorie stood trial for shooting and killing her then-boyfriend, Robert Thomas. She claimed she shot him in self-defense and came out a free woman.
Yeah, sometimes it works.
In 1990, Marjorie's husband, Richard Armstrong, died of an internal brain hemorrhage. Marjorie said that he'd fallen and hit his head against the table. The case was not further investigated by police.
Jeez. Okay.
And on top of that, Marjorie sued the hospital for malpractice and won the case because they couldn't save her husband. She was granted $250,000.
Okay.
Yeah, but even though she was a genius, apart from private music lessons, it seems Marjorie never had a job, which is probably why she wanted the $250,000.
Yeah, she was just trying to coast.
Yeah. Now, she did have a few diagnosed mental health issues as well. Most notably in her 20s, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Her relationship with her father was terrible. Despite his attempts to provide for her, Marjorie harbored deep resentment, viewing him as controlling and overbearing.
Okay, viewing him is one thing. Could he have been? Probably.
Could have been.
Yeah.
This dynamic would prove crucial in understanding her motives, though, for the pizza bomber plot. Okay, these issues with her father, they're very important. Marjorie was fixated on her multi-million-dollar inheritance, which would come from you-know-who. Old Daddy-O.
Oh, okay, so Dad's got some money.
Yes, he's got a lot of money. However, there was one teeny tiny problem. He's alive.
Damn it!
Yeah, gosh darn it. So this is where the pizza heist came into play. Investigators believe that Armstrong saw the bank heist as a means to an end, a way to get the money to then hire a hitman to kill her father. See, it was just step number one.
Jesus Christ,
and
woman.
Somehow someone had their head blown off. This is, right? You guys got way off track.
Right? You skipped a few, you added a lot of steps in here, woman. If you were able to build an explosive collar, why hire a hitman?
Well, she had help. But Marjorie contacted the state police in March of 2005. And soon after, the FBI met with her on April 20th. What a day.
Nice.
But she talks about Bill Rothstein, but refuses to answer their questions about the pizza heist before being transferred to a minimum security prison. She hasn't forgot about that deal, Andy.
Oh, no.
Okay, don't forget about that deal.
She needs you to give her something first.
But meanwhile, since you're already in custody, Marjorie, the FBI is going to go through all of your shit. And they uncovered a treasure trove of incriminating evidence, bomb-making materials, which obviously linked her and the device around Brian's neck. They also find a letter from Marjorie to PNC Bank. The bank that they robbed. In the letter, Marjorie accuses the bank of letting her father access her savings account, which was not true. There was no record of that.
Okay.
On a side note, Marjorie was a hoarder. Her home was literally full of shit, especially food. She had enormous piles of food, and when I don't mean like in the refrigerator, I mean just out. Like over 700 pounds of cheese was found in her home. 300 pounds of butter.
Oof! God damn.
180 boxes of mac and cheese.
Oh.
Okay, that's where the cheese and the butter's going. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Okay, this feels
She
like
eats a lot of mack and cheese. Holy shit!
This feels like Winnie the Pooh's house.
I literally just put that together. She also had 89 jars of honey. I'm kind of jelly about that.
Like I said, this is Winnie the Pooh's house.
Making a real case for it, aren't we?
I feel like, she had an idol and she tried to live by it.
Yeah, apparently.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
have you ever seen
she was a legit hoarder, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there was only one, there was like a path that you had to walk through her house, her home. You know what I mean? But the investigators interviewed Marjorie again in July of 2005. And again, she states that she will not talk unless she gets her deal. She ain't forgetting about that deal, okay? So she wants immunity as well before she tells the investigators what she knows. And then, in just moments, Marjorie's love for her own voice betrays her, Andy.
I want immunity for the crimes you committed? Maybe.
See, the investigators don't ask her what she knows. They ask her what she claims to know.
Fuck.
And she literally starts talking and just never stops talking, really. And really, every time they interview her, she just gives them more information. And she never got her deal. Ironically, she forgot about the deal.
She just kept giving them a taste and a taste and a taste.
It's
and
like
a taste.
you didn't sign anything. Nothing was written.
Nope.
Nothing was shown to you. No deal. Nothing. She just kept.
She just loved hearing herself talk.
Yep. But Marjorie claimed that Bill Rothstein was the mastermind of the whole plan, and he was the skilled metal worker, and he crafted the collar bomb. And he had a live-in friend as well, Floyd Stockton, who had coincidentally moved out the day of the heist, and he was involved as well, she says. And then she also connects another man named Ken Barnes. Okay, I know it's a lot of names, but it's not as bad as it seems. And she did admit to providing the kitchen timers used in the bomb, right? So she's blaming it all on Bill and his friend Floyd. And then she also brings up a man named Ken Barnes, who we are going to talk about.
I love how she's like, the only thing I provided was the timers. You know, none of the bad things, just the timers. You know, that's not bad, right? I just had them in my kitchen. You know, I had a bunch, obviously.
And she said Bill forced her to give him the timers too. So you know, she didn't even want to do that, but she had to be.
Had to.
Yeah. But conveniently for Marjorie, Bill had passed away in July of 2004, and he had succumbed to stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in a nursing home. Even on his deathbed, he had refused to give investigators anything about the pizza heist. And now Marjorie could say whatever she wanted because, you know, obviously Bill's not there anymore, so why not pin it all on Bill?
Bill went out at the right fucking time.
Yeah. And then last but not least, another bombshell by Marjorie. She said that Brian Wells was not a randomly chosen victim. He was all in on the plan from the start.
Oh, a little mole inside the operation, or maybe a little, a sheep in wolf's clothing.
Yeah, so he volunteered to have the bomb around his neck.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely want to be that guy.
Right? That's the guy you always want to be in the heist.
Sure.
I want to be the bait.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to be the distraction.
Right?
That's literally what he was.
That's different. The distraction's one thing. When you are the bomb, that's a different thing.
No. Not in that aspect. In July of 2005, investigators interviewed Floyd Stockton. Old Floyd, the man who lived with Bill, but then suddenly moved the day of the heist. While in a Washington State prison, Floyd tells him that he is not involved in the pizza heist. There you go. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. But Bill and Marjorie are, and they planned the robbery because they're the ones that needed money. But Floyd was a bit of a rotten character, Andy, and I think that's putting it lightly. And that's according to his wife and daughter.
I mean,
who at the time of the heist was a fugitive and hiding at Bill Rothstein's place. That's why he had to dip out. He's like, any police attention at all, I'm out of here. Yeah, there was a warrant out for his arrest at the time for the rape of a 19-year-old mentally disabled girl.
Yeah, kind of a piece of shit,
man. He is an absolute piece of shit. It is only after he is granted complete immunity in 2007 when Floyd starts to fully cooperate with the police.
Oh, yeah, so they still got to give him something, too.
Yeah. So it was not just Marjorie's talking that helped investigators piece together the story. Multiple eyewitnesses had come forward as well. One of those testified that he had seen Bill and Marjorie at the payphone that was used to order the pizzas. That's damning.
Yeah.
Other witnesses included 6 fellow inmates. These were women who served with Marjorie, and they started to make notes of everything Marjorie, a.k.a. Freezer Queen, as they called her.
I wonder if she gave herself that nickname.
Right. Everything she said about the pizza heist, they were writing it down. And they all claimed that Marjorie has stated multiple times that she was involved in the heist.
Yeah. She can't stop bragging. She really can't stop talking about it, to be fair.
No, she can't.
Like, once she gets going, she kind of likes hearing herself talk.
She does. And then, out of the blue, in late 2005, a man contacted the state police after his brother-in-law had shared details about the pizza heist that indicated his involvement. His brother-in-law turned out to be Kenneth Barnes.
God damn.
Oh, Ken Barnes.
Never trust your brother-in-law.
So here he is. This is how Ken Barnes is involved. He's the last guy that Marjorie had connected to the case. Kenneth, or Ken, and Marjorie have been friends for a while. Fishing buddies, actually. Ken was a TV repairman by day and a crack dealer by night. And his house, too, was also a hoarder's mess.
Man, Ken's just a little jack of all trades over here.
They were like 2 peas in a pod, Marjorie and Ken. He was allegedly tapped to be the hitman in the grand scheme, the one to take out Marjorie's father and, of course, secure that inheritance.
Oh, come on. $250,000? That is not. This man is not a $250,000 hitman. No. This man is $150 and a 6-pack of Miller hitman. What are you fucking talking?
We learned that pretty quick. And there's an interview with him on YouTube, and Andy he's spot on with this.
Yeah, this man is I'll do it for you.
He's spot on. But in a series of interviews, he testifies that Marjorie was the mastermind of the heist. And as the investigation progressed, the true scope of the conspiracy kind of started to take shape. Investigators believe that Marjorie is indeed the mastermind of the heist. She feared that her father would spend her $1.8 million inheritance before his death, and she would have nothing. So she talked to her fishing buddy, old Ken Barnes, and asked how much it would take for him to kill her father. And he said She was so damn obsessed with it. And of course, I was just joking with her, I said, well, Margie, that would cost you. And she goes, well, how much? And I said, $250,000. And I was just playing with her. And I said, I want $100,000 up front.
I love how he literally is he's even telling
That's straight from him.
He's just like, shit, I'm just fucking with her at this point. I'm like, let's see how much she'll go. $250,000? How much? Okay. When? Oh, shit.
Right.
Really? Damn. $500,000.
But either way, I guess she agreed to it, and now she had to come up with a plan to get the money.
Yeah.
Right? So she goes to her ex-lover, Bill Rothstein, old Bill, to help her come up with a plan, and he does. Bill could never say no to Marjorie. He really couldn't. I mean, he was storing a body for her.
No, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So Bill builds the bomb and writes the scavenger hunt notes that they found at the crime scene. The hunt was devised only to confuse and delay the police. James Roden was to be a driver in the plan. Roden's conscience, though, began to weigh heavily on him. James Roden, the man that was found in the freezer, and he threatened to expose the entire scheme, a decision that ultimately sealed his fate when Marjorie shot him, and that's how he ended up in Bill's freezer, making it impossible for Bill to really get out of the plan if he wanted to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of, by doing that to him, she's like, nah, you're in this now.
Yep. Now you're in it all the way, Bill.
Yeah. So, old Ken Barnes, he contacted a befriended prostitute, Jessica Hoopsick, and asked her if she knew someone who could be scared into a robbery. And she did, of course. And his name was Brian Wells. And she was paid $5,000 for this information, allegedly.
These guys apparently already have some money to spend.
Yeah, apparently. She also gave them where to find Brian and his work schedule. It took years, but Jessica finally confirmed Ken's statements. In the Netflix documentary Evil Genius, Jessica claims that Brian was an innocent victim.
Yeah.
So,
kind of believe that from the beginning, too.
We'll see. FBI officers say, however, that Jessica did not mention this in her 2010 testimony in the federal trial, and they do not see her as a credible witness and mention that her statements in the documentary contradict other evidence. But at least we know how all the players are connected, though. Mm-hmm. Now it makes sense. Now, according to Ken Barnes, Brian was involved, but always thought the bomb was fake. The day before the heist, Bill and Marjorie made him try on a fake version of the device to measure his neck. And then the day of the heist, when Brian arrived at the TV towers, he realized that the bomb that Floyd had put around his neck was different from the day before. And, he may have started to panic. They said he did, tried to escape, tried to run away. But Bill fired a shot in the air, and then Brian was tackled to the ground. He was screaming and kicking. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore. But Ken Barnes silenced him by punching him in the face. He said it was too late to kick and scream. Brian was told that the bomb would go off at any attempt to take it off, and that they would detonate it if he was seen contacting police or asking anybody for help. So they gave him these scavenger hunt notes and a cane converted into a gun just in case. Brian had no choice but to carry on with the plan. He would be fine if he completed the scavenger hunt in the 55 minutes and collected all the keys. It's so much like Saw.
Yeah, really,
it really
much so.
Is. Marjorie and Ken parked across the street from the bank and watched Brian arrive in his Geo Metro through binoculars.
Oh, God, he drives a Geo Metro, too?
Yeah.
Oh,
poor guy. They watched him leave the bank, and they watched him as he was surrounded by police at Scott Drive, and then they watched him die. As they left the scene, Ken took a wrong turn onto I-79, driving against traffic on the highway. He ended up driving the car onto the shoulder. And this was actually reported by an eyewitness later. The man said that he looked at the car, and in the passenger seat, he made eye contact with a woman who he later realized was Marjorie Armstrong.
Yeah, she's all over TV at this point now.
Yeah. Now, the backup plan seemed to work, though. The backup plan, which was to confuse the police, just in case the robbery went south.
Mm-hmm.
And the police were puzzled by the notes, and they were on a hunt for 3 black men who had forced Brian to rob a bank, and then had Bill Rothstein not reported the body, dude, who knows?
Well, you got to think that, Bill knows he's got fucking stage 4 lymphoma, maybe. Bill knows he's getting sick. He's like, well, fuck it. I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm taking them all down. He's like, I'm about to die anyways.
I want to die. At least I can die with a clean conscience.
Yeah, she put this body in my freezer. I'm not getting any of this money out of this. I'll be dead before I can even spend it all, any of it. So fuck them. I'm taking them all down.
Yeah, maybe. But the pizza bomber case presented prosecutors with quite a challenge. Building a case against the conspirators proved pretty time-consuming, stretching over several years. The web of lies and manipulation woven by the perpetrators threatened to unravel the entire investigation. As investigators pieced together the puzzle, they faced quite a few setbacks, like the death of Bill Rothstein, for example. And what didn't help either was the state police and FBI were each kind of doing their own thing, as per usual. The state police were focusing on the James Roden case, and the FBI was on the pizza heist. Ken Barnes, for instance, had clearly stated that Marjorie asked him to kill her father, but he said it in a 2003 interview with the state police, and then that was during an interview in the James Roden case. This piece of critical information was not shared with the FBI until years later.
Jeez, God.
So they couldn't apply it to the new case.
Mm-hmm. It's just so silly to me, like that, like the state police being like, "We got to focus on this body we got in the freezer." Yeah, they killed that guy because of the big explosion thing we were trying to solve. Yeah, but like we got to figure out this body.
Right. They couldn't let it go, man. But 7 years after Brian's death in October of 2010, Marjorie's trial finally started. Her erratic behavior and manipulation became pretty apparent. Throughout the trial, Marjorie's outbursts kept everybody on edge. She was always interrupting proceedings, arguing with her own attorneys, attempting to address the jury directly, and her behavior was all over the place, from tearful pleas to angry tirades. And she was going off on the prosecution, even her own legal team. Everyone. Oh, yeah. No one was safe from Marjorie's wrath.
Put her in a goddamn cage like Chikatilo or something over there.
Seriously. The prosecution methodically presented their case, weaving together a narrative of greed and cold-blooded calculation. They painted a picture of Marjorie as a woman driven by an insatiable desire for money, willing to go to extreme lengths to secure her father's inheritance. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was the letter that she wrote to PNC Bank, of course, providing a clear motive for the robbery and pretty much admitting to her involvement from the very beginning. Ken Barnes testified against Marjorie. He himself was sentenced to 45 years for his role in the bank heist.
I mean, Ken did a little bit more.
Yeah, but he made a pretty sweet deal, though, for his cooperation, and his sentence was reduced to 22 and a half in 2011. Floyd Stockton, who was granted immunity, was scheduled to testify against Marjorie as well, but could not attend court due to medical reasons. All these guys were super unhealthy, Marjorie included.
God, she's living off fucking, what was it, 400 pounds of cheese and butter?
Yeah, dude, super unhealthy. The defense attempted to portray Marjorie as a victim of circumstance, manipulated by her co-conspirators, and struggling with mental health issues. They argued that her erratic behavior in court was evidence of her instability and inability to have masterminded such a complex plot. The prosecution countered by presenting evidence of Marjorie's intelligence and capacity for manipulation. They reminded the jury of her academic achievements and her history of suspicious deaths surrounding her former partners. Yeah, got to bring that up. And as the trial neared its conclusion, the jury retired for deliberations.
Yeah, you don't think maybe that this woman might be smart enough that she's pretending to be crazy in the courtroom, like that she's manipulating all of you right now?
Again.
Like, you guys maybe don't think that might be an option?
Right. But they deliberated for 11 hours and 30 minutes over the course of 2 days. Finally, the jury returned with their verdict on November 1st, 2010. They said, "We, the jury, find the defendant, Marjorie Dale Armstrong, guilty on all accounts." The words echoed through the room, but it really brought closure to a case that had horrified the entire country. Marjorie Armstrong was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years in 2011, effectively ensuring that she would spend the rest of her days behind bars. Marjorie did end up with an inheritance after her father died in 2014. It was $2,000.
Damn, there we go.
But
spend in the commissary, bitch.
Because unbeknownst to Marjorie, her father had given most of his money away to family, friends, and charities long before his death. Even at the time of the heist, most of the money was already gone. Her father was well aware that his money would not be in good hands with Marjorie and had practically written her out of his will. She didn't even receive her $2,000, and the remaining $118,000 in Mr. Deal's name went to his medical bills. The whole insane and cruel plan was rendered futile. Marjorie fought for her conviction for the rest of her life. It wasn't very long, though. She actually lost a battle with breast cancer on April 4th, 2017, in a federal prison in Texas. And the question of Brian's culpability has sparked quite a debate over the years since then. His behavior during the bank robbery, being calm, and then witnesses reported that Wells appeared almost nonchalant as he handed over the demand note and then grabbing the lollipop before leaving, right?
It might, like I said, it could be a state of shock. It could be a state of
it could be that he really thought it was a fake bomb.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he did at the time.
But then what about all the freaking out at the towers and stuff,
Or when the cops get there and he's like, "Get this off of me, please, help me."
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
He tells them it's real. So.
Yeah. As investigators dug deeper into Brian's background, they uncovered a man who seemed an unlikely candidate to be a criminal mastermind. He had no criminal record. He did have some encounters with police, but not anything noteworthy. He was known as a reliable employee at the pizzeria where he worked for years. His last words were actually asking if his boss had been notified.
Damn.
Friends and family defended him fiercely and described him as a gentle soul who enjoyed simple pleasures like tinkering with cars and playing with his cats. There was no way that Brian put that collar on himself. People described him as childlike, perhaps indicating that Brian wasn't very intelligent and possibly easy to manipulate. Yet investigators couldn't shake the feeling that he knew more than he let on. They pointed to small details like the fact that Brian called in sick to work the day before the robbery and his love for scavenger hunts as potential signs of premeditation. The FBI also had eyewitnesses who testified that he saw Brian leaving Ken's house the night before the robbery.
I mean, this does seem like a little small group of people that kind of already had some pre-existing relationships too. So
for sure. Others speculated that Brian might indeed have initially agreed to participate in the robbery, thinking he would be wearing a fake bomb, only to realize too late that it was real. As the years passed, the truth about Brian Wells' involvement in the pizza bomber plot remained elusive. For every piece of evidence that seemed to implicate him, another casted doubt. The FBI officially concluded that Wells was a knowing and willing participant in the plot, but many, including members of Wells' family, continued to dispute this. His brother John Wells created a website and kept it going until 2019, sharing the family's views on the case and pleading for justice for Brian. All the members of the conspiracy are now dead. Ken Barnes died in federal prison of small cell lung cancer in 2019, and Floyd Stockton was the last one to go in 2022. He died at age 75 of respiratory failure. It is said that he left a written account of what really happened, but nothing has come of that so far.
Like I said, I mean, like, you want to say get justice for Brian, but like, I feel like justice is pretty much done. Like, the best you can do is clear his name, but I mean, the people responsible for it, they're all gone. That's all you can really hope for in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. There is no justice.
No, there's no justice in this at all. Other than the fact that I feel like justice was done, but I like I said, I don't know.
I guess they all died and got nothing.
Yeah.
So I guess there is justice in that, right?
Like, I'm trying to think if Brian was really involved, I don't think he was actually a part of the plan to get the robbery and stuff. Like I said, maybe he was kind of manipulated into thinking he was he was involved in something else, and that they were going to use him for this, but he would just be like, this is going to be a fake bomb. You're going to be a decoy. The police are going to think you're a victim. We're going to get all this money. We'll give you a little bit later after it all clears over.
It's like, how are y'all literally planning to get the money from him?
Exactly. Yeah, really. Exactly. And he's supposed to get...
Like, physically. How are you going to get it?
He's supposed to get $250,000 out. He only walks away with $8,000, and he's kind of fine with that. So it's not like he thinks that, like, he doesn't walk out of there thinking, if I don't come out with the $250,000, I'm dead.
Right.
Like, he kind of walks out thinking, well, I got some money.
Yeah.
I'll get a lollipop.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, like, he doesn't stay around. He's like, no, you need to get me I need that much money. So it's like, I kind of feel like he maybe wasn't as involved as, like, some people think he might have been.
No, he was instructed.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he was, like I said, maybe manipulated by like that prostitute they said that they got involved, and somebody told him that like, hey man, we need somebody to be the victim. Like you're gonna pretend to be the victim, and the police you're gonna tell the police this story. You're gonna if it all goes down, this is what you tell them.
Right.
You're just gonna do this, but all we're gonna need you to do is walk in, get the money, and walk out. But like the fact, like I said, he did not take it serious enough to stay in the bank to get the amount that he was told to get.
Right.
I don't think he knew that he would die if he walked out of there without that money.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because he wouldn't have walked out that carelessly.
No. Now, here's my other question. Do you think they detonated the bomb, or do you think it was on a timer?
I think they detonated it.
You think they detonated it?
That would be my thing. I believe they probably detonated it in a big, angry panic in the car, arguing about what we should do. Do we do this? What do we do? What do we do? How do we do? And somebody just, hit the button, and then they were like, "It's done. Go." Like that would be my. You got some crazy kind of crack dealing people, crazy people are in this moment who are all panicking,
right?
And they all don't want to be caught in this moment. And I don't say crazy because of the mental health issues. I mean, just like these people are just acting erratically right now.
Yeah, I mean,
and like in that moment,
hatching crazy plots.
You don't want to be caught, and you don't want this guy to incriminate you in any manner. So I think that at that point, he's a liability to them.
Definitely.
So I believe they pushed the button, and none of them want to admit who pushed the button, but somebody in that car did. And then it was just it's done. Get the hell out of here. Like,
no doubt. And then they went and drove the wrong way on the interstate.
Yeah, like I said, in a panic because they were probably arguing, like, why did you do that? Why would we do? Like, you just killed that man. Like,
right.
So yeah. So I believe he was involved, but not as part of the plan.
No,
to an extent. I think he's brought in at the end to be a tool, a pawn.
Yep. It's dark, man. What a dark scheme, dude.
Oh yeah, this lady was the masked evil genius.
It's like Masterminds, but not funny.
No, like I said, the evil genius documentary was kind of spot on. Like that title of evil genius, because this was not like she did not care what happened to Brian. Like this was all about her getting the money that she thought she was going to get, not even guaranteed to get.
Right.
She was so unstable that she didn't even realize that money wasn't even there. Like she thought this money was going to come to her when her dad died.
Right.
Only to find out that money's already been gone. Like you were written out of the will years ago.
She would have spent $250,000 to kill her dad to get $2,000.
Yeah. Like even if all the money was left in like whatever, like he said, like he only had like $112,000 in his own account left. He's like, and that just went to his medical bills.
Yep.
It's like even if she had gotten all of his money, she would have gotten less than she paid. So it's like you wouldn't even gotten the money to pay the hitman.
She ain't even getting no good deodorant, bro. Not even no all natural deodorant either.
Oof, she could have used it in that prison though.
She probably could have.
Hoarder living like that probably still smelled like mac and cheese for years.
Oh gosh, she needed some. Oh my Gaia. Oh my Gaia, an innovative all natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum free products. Guys, if you go visit ohmygaia.com, that's OHMYGAIA.com, there are tons of scents to choose from. We even have our own scent, True Crime Pine, that Oh My Gaia created just for us. And because you're True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the code word Crimepine for 15% off your order. That's Crimepine, CRIMEPINE, no spaces, for 15% off your order at ohmygaia.com. And there's a link right below the description of this episode, as well as a link to Patreon, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, the best way to support the show, guys. For just $3 a month, you guys can really help us keep the show going and enjoy episodes early, ad-free, bonus content, plus all of the past shows that we have done, every audio file we've ever created, all the way back to 2016 is on there. Patreon.com/truecrimeguys. Again, link below the description of the episode. Also, you can check out truecrimeguys.com and give us a follow on social media at True Crime Guys. You guessed it. That's right, truecrimeguys@gmail.com if you want to email us.
Ooh, we still have a
You sensing a pattern here?
Yeah. we're original.
Yeah. But thanks, guys. We appreciate you listening. And, again, I want to say thank you to our patron, a Creep of the Crop patron, David S., thank you so much for the suggestion. This is an insane case. I'm glad we have it in the catalog now.
Mm-hmm.
And
About time.
That's right. So, guys, if you have a suggestion, especially if you're a patron, hit us up on there. Send us a message, and we'll do our best to cover it. All right, guys, until next time, just keep on creeping.
Bye.